Hey, hello everyone. It's Miss Thompson here, just wanting to talk about your essays for V for Vendetta. So, compiling the information that you guys have been using in your essay planner or your analysis table, whatever you want to call it, and then getting that stuff from your tables into a nicely written paragraph. So that's what we're looking at in this video. Um, so what you really need to do is what you really need to have open is this document. So with all your lovely analysis filled in like this. And the other thing that I would suggest you open is the writing analytically word bank. So this has some really good words that can be used for your essay writing. And so you're not repeating the same word all the time. So take a look at that because it will give you some really good words and phrases that you can use. Okay, so we're looking at your analysis. So I've got here something that I've done for the novel 1984. So it doesn't really matter that the analysis is different. It's really what I want you to do with your analysis and the elements of the analysis that need to be put into a well-written document that addresses the achievement standards. So as you can see here, I've got my technique, evidence, and explanation. And they're here. It's done like this to ensure that you are looking at the parts of the sentence that you need to be looking at, that they're included. So as Miss Searson, I think, has called it my little mathematical equation, it's just a little sentence structure that I like to teach. It's not meant to be repeated in this current form all the time. It's just meant to be, but that the essence of it, the elements of them need to be repeated in your work. Okay, so that is author, so McTeague, a descriptor that talks about the use of technique, the technique or techniques, if that's applicable, and another descriptor talking about author intent, and then an aspect of the theme that is established. So that's kind of what I want in your body paragraphs, except in your body paragraphs, you also need to include evidence. So my topic sentence adheres to that sentence structure. So firstly, Orwell presents a totalitarian setting to show how government oppresses its citizens. So this is just one aspect of your line of analysis. That's your first topic sentence, or your topic sentence for your first paragraph. So in this table here, all that should be in here is technique, evidence, and explanation that relates to this topic sentence. So everything in here should be how I see this text showing that government oppresses its citizens. So if you can see in my wording here, it doesn't really matter that it's 1984. It's talking about how the critical thought of Oceania is so oppressed that they have no means to voice any dissent to this blatant contradiction. So phrases like government are so confident that their lives will not be challenged, and what government deems as right and true will be accepted by the citizens. These are kind of phrases that show I understand that I can see that this text is showing that government oppresses its citizens. Okay, so that's really important, that when you're looking at your explanation column, that you've got those kind of phrases in here. That's the focus of your analysis for this paragraph. So it can be notes, it can be word, like kind of polished type sentences that you want to use in your body paragraph. It's completely up to you. All right, if you scroll down here, or if I scroll down here, I will show you a sample of a body paragraph. Now, all this stuff is in this table. So it's basically me doing a bit of copy and pasting from my table above. I printed the table so I could have it beside me and I could type phrases. However you wish to do, it's up to you. But this gives you a really sound basis. This table here gives you a really sound basis to write a paragraph using the sentence structure that I think works really well for essays. Okay, so if you can see, I will show you how it's doing all the things that I want you to do in a sentence. So firstly, Orwell presents, and we've got the descriptor, a totalitarian setting to show how governments oppress its citizens. So we've got the explanation here. Orwell's use of words such as dull, vile, and gritty create the impression that there is no colour in anything. So we're looking at here some really well embedded evidence. So we've got these paraphrased words because they're really good examples of that technique that I've got here. And this bit of evidence is supporting my explanation. So if you can find evidence that really helps you explain what's going on, your analysis, then that's going to look really sophisticated too. The description of the poster Big Brother is watching you conjures up an image of total surveillance and control where even a picture has the ability to follow you about when you move. Okay, we've done that once again here. The paradox of the three slogans. So I've got here the technique and the evidence, and that they're the slogans, they're the evidence of that technique, are stated as maxims or universal truths. Now I've done a full stop here because I've put a little bit of explanation, but my sentence is going to be too long, so I need to start a new sentence. So all in here is a new sentence and it's all explanation. So see how you don't want to repeat the sentence structure for every sentence. It becomes monotonous and you might not actually do everything that you're meant to do. So I've got one sentence here that's all explanation and it's all about the topic sentence. So this sentence here, and I'm talking about how it's a blatant contradiction. You might remember it from the explanation that I talked about above in the table above. All right, they've lost their ability to think critically about the world they live in, but they have also lost the means or right to voice dissent, or right to voice dissent. So it's showing you the analysis here, your explanation is showing how the government is oppressing its citizens. It's really important that you're making that really clear. Orwell uses, so we've got a lovely connective here. So remember your writing analytical word bank uses connectives. These are all really good to show how you're layering your analysis to form an argument. So connectives are really important here. Your reference to author is also important because that's answering the essay question, and you're showing an analysis or an awareness of craft. Or you're showing an awareness that the author is the creator of this text and you're analysing the use of their craft. So we've got here the descriptor, technique, descriptor, and some more explanation. A new sentence goes into more detail about that. So the language reveals the pervasive nature of behaviour. So we've got a bit of explanation in here, and that lovely embedded quote, and another lovely embedded quote. So this shows how individuals have no power over themselves. It is the party that holds the power over the individual. So once again, I'm saying it another way. This analysis that I'm showing you here, Marker, is answering the essay question and addressing my topic sentence of how the government oppresses its citizens. All right, so we've got it also happening down here that by careful conditioning, by games, by the rubbish dinned into them at school, by lectures, parades, songs, slogans, and martial music, the citizens were losing their natural feeling. Just highlight that, losing their natural feeling, and instead behaving in a way that secures the party's power. So once again, that's showing explanation. The oppressive setting is further revealed. So we've also got the technique, and notice how by using the word oppressive, I'm describing the setting. So it's once again adding a layer of analysis. We've got a lovely connective here, further revealed, and we've got the descriptor. Revealed through Orwell's characterization of Julia. So that is once again a technique who embodies the role of rebellion. Her act of, that's I guess a bit of explanation, but it's also a bit of technique. Her act of wearing makeup when Winston, why you read your work out loud before you submit it. Her act of wearing makeup when Winston has never before seen or imagined a woman of the party with cosmetics on her face shows not only her act of revolt, but reveals a setting that is devoid of any individuality or expression. So once again, we've got some explanation. Now, this is the concluding sentence here is something I really want to draw your attention to. There's a couple of things that are happening here. So we've got it is in these ways that Orwell introduces an oppressive world where citizens are powerless under a government that has total control over every aspect of their lives, readying the narrative for acts of struggle that will overthrow such a regime. So we've got that, lovely that we've got that reference to technique, answering the essay question. We've got the author, and we've got the descriptor, which is good. And we've got the aspect of the theme. So we're showing that. Once again, we're kind of saying it, but in a different way. But then the other thing that's happening here is we're actually readying the reader, readying our marker for what we're going to talk about next. Because my next paragraph is going to be talking about the struggle. So what is the actual struggle to overthrow this oppression? And so a really good paragraph will, in their concluding sentence, kind of get the marker ready for what they're going to talk about next. So that is hopefully going to help you write your essays. Hope you've gotten some tips and tricks to help you do that. Thanks very much, guys.